Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Lion Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be fighting a kill team game between my Dark Angels and Neil's Thousand Sons. So the story that we've got going on here is that a Thousand Sons cabal had set up a shop on this planet, an industrial planet, and a kill team of Dark Angels, Primaris Marines, were sent in to go kill him and take him out. We are actually going to be playing the Assassinate mission, which is basically I have to kill his leader and he has to not have his leader die. So that's what we're going to be playing. That's the story, and that is the mission that we're going to be playing. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams that are going to be killing it out. My Dark Angels kill team from left to right will be my leader, who is an Intercessor Sergeant with a bolt rifle. I then have an Intercessor with a bolt rifle and an Auspex. He will be my comm specialist. I then have a Reaver Sergeant with a heavy bolt pistol and a combat knife and a grapnel launcher. He will be my combat specialist. I then have an Intercessor with a bolt rifle, who will be my sniper specialist. I then have two Reavers with heavy bolt pistols, combat knives, and grapnel launchers. Then for the Thousand Sons from left to right, we have his leader, who is an Aspiring Sorcerer with a Force Staff and an Inferno Bolt Pistol. We then have a Rubric Marine with the Icon of Flame and Inferno Bolter, who is going to be his Veteran Specialist. We then have a Rubric Marine with a Soul Reaper Cannon, who will be his Sniper Specialist. We then have a Twist Bray, who will be his Combat Specialist. We have a Rubric Marine with Inferno Bolter, who is just a regular dude bro. Then we have two Zangors. One has the Bray Horn. All right, so deployment here, we have my regular Reavers over here. We've got my leader back over here. I've got my combat specialist back over here. I've got my comm specialist on the left there, and I've got my sniper specialist here in next to him. I then have another regular Reaver down over here. Going to deployment for the Thousand Sons, we have his veteran specialist up in the front there. We have his leader in the middle. We have his sniper specialist up in the tower. We've got his regular dude bro over there. We've got the Twist Bray over here. We've got the Bray Horn in the middle, and we have his other regular guy on the side over there. So that is going, oh no, the opposite. The regular guy is over on the left, the Twist Bray is on the right there. So that is going to be, that's it for deployment. So now we will roll off to see who will have initiative here for turn one. I roll a 6, my opponent rolled a 6, so re-roll. I rolled a 3, my opponent rolled a 8, so we will come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Sons here on turn 1. Movement phase for the Thousand Sons here. All of his Zangors advanced up this way. They started one at a time with the Brayhorn being last, but they all had +1 to their advance because of the Brayhorn. So they all moved up here. He moved 13 inches up here. He moved 8. He moved 9. So booking it up over this way. His Rubric Marine here, the Veteran Specialist, moved up over this way. His leader moved up over this way. His Sniper Specialist readied himself. And then his other Rubric Marine moved up on top of there. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. My leader readied himself. My regular dude bro over here just did a regular move, but he had the grapnel launcher, so he ignored all the vertical distance moving up over there. And then these two guys, my sniper and comm specialist, readied themselves. And now my regular Reaver over here and my combat specialists are going to charge. We're going to start with my my regular guy. He's going to charge into the Twist Bray, who doesn't have any weapons to shoot him with, so his charge distance, 6 inches, might not get him in. All right, I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that charge distance. All right, now my combat specialist is going to charge into his regular dude bro over here, who can't see him, so he doesn't get to Overwatch, but I'm looking for a 7-inch charge to get in. Getting in. All right, that's it for the movement phase, so moving on to the psychic phase. Interesting. 6. So starting off, we're going to have his Icon of Flame, which is basically what it does is on a rolls a d6, and on a 6, it does a mortal wound to the closest visible, which will be my Reaver Sergeant over here. So looking for a 6. Oh, and he gets it, mortal wound. And now his leader is going to cast Psybolt into him over here. So looking for a 5. Goes off with an 8, so he is now going to roll 1 mortal wound. So that's going to take him down to 0. So you roll a injury roll now.
Nothing.
One flesh wound. All right, so that's it for the psychic phase. Into the shooting phase, my opponent's going to spend 2 command points on the mission-specific stratagem called Keeping Low, which means that I can't. You spend it at the beginning of the shooting phase, and it means that my guys cannot shoot his leader unless his leader is the closest model. So he's going to be safe for this shooting phase. So we'll see how it goes from there. So moving into the shooting phase now, his Dubro up here, his sniper specialist, is going to be the first to shoot because he is readied and he has initiative. So who is he going to be shooting at? We'll come back to that. All right, so he's going to fire his Soul Reaper cannon into these 2 guys over here. He's going to fire 2 into each because it's heavy 4. So he's going to fire. We'll fire the 2 into the comm specialist first. He's more than half range because it's 24-inch range, so it becomes -1 from that, -1 because they're obscured. So we got 2 shots here, looking for 5s to hit. All right, getting 1 hit. This is strength 5, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. AP -3, so looking for a 6 up. Show me that fill first. No fill face, so that is 1 damage, right? They got 2 wounds, so that is just going to be 1 wound.
Closest.
Yep, and now the second shot's into my sniper specialist over there, looking for 5s. Getting 1 hit. Looking for a 3. That is a wound. Looking for a 6 up. Show me that fill first. Yeah, with the fill first. Woo! All right, so now we're going to start off my shooting with the sniper specialist, who is going to fire into his sniper. I'm going to use the Auspex and the comm specialist from the comm specialist to give him +1 and ignoring the obscured. He's within 15 inches, which is half range. So I'm going to have 2 shots into him. These are going to be hitting on 2s. Getting 2 hits with fill faces. That's got to mean something. They are toughness 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound at AP -1, so 1 4 up save.
Which one?
4 up save. Oh, it's 4 up save into him over here. 1 4 up save. He's good. All right, so now my comm specialist is going to fire into him over here. He's going to be hitting on 4s, 2 shots. That's 2 hits. Looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be no wounds. And now my leader is going to fire into his veteran here with the Icon of Flame. He is going to be, he's within half range. He's within 15 inches, but and he is obscured. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 4s. That is 1 hit. That is not a wound. All right, so now his veteran specialist here is going to fire into my Reaver. He's going to fire 2 shots, -1 because he's obscured, so hitting on 4s. That is 2 hits. Strength 4, so looking for 4s to wound. That is no wound. So now my Reaver is going to fire into his veterans over here. So he's going to have 1 shot with his heavy bolt pistol. This is going to be -1 because of being more than 6 inches away, and -1 because of being obscured. Nope, no hit. All right, so now his leader is going to shoot his pistol into my comm specialist over here. He is within 12 inches, but he's more than 6 inches, so it's going to be -1 for that, -1 because of being obscured, so hitting on a 5. That's a hit. Looking for a 4. That is a wound. AP -2 because it's a warp flame, infernal bolt pistol. So it's going to be -2. So looking for a 5 up. No, goes through. So that's finally takes him down here. So now we have the injury roll. No wound. All right, and now he's going to fire into my Reaver over here. 2 shots within half range, but being obscured, so hitting on 4s. Getting 2 hits. Getting no wound. All right, so that is it for the shooting phase. Into the fight phase, I charge, so I get the initiative over here. My Reaver Sergeant has 3 attacks base, +1 for combat knife, +1 because he's the combat specialist. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, getting 3 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP nothing, so 2 5-up invul saves. Making 1, failing 1, so injury roll time. Takes a flesh wound. All right, so now Zangor is going to attack back. He's got 2 attacks, hitting on 4s because of his flesh wound. Getting 1 hit. Strength 4, so looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP nothing, so 3 up armor save. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Into a fill first. All right, so that is it for the turn 1 here. No one has to take any morale at all, so we were going to move on to turn 2. So we'll roll initiative for that. I rolled a 7. My opponent rolled a 4, so I will start us off here. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement for the Dark Angels. These two guys readied, my leader readied, and now we're gonna have some charges. So this Reaver is going to charge into his Brayhorn over here. So no Overwatch from him there. This is now going to be looking for a 7-inch charge. And he gets it with 9 inches. And then my other Reaver is going to charge into his Veteran Specialist over here. He is going to fire Overwatch now. So he's got 2 shots because he's in rapid fire range. Hitting on 6s. No hits there. So I need an 8-inch charge to get in. Making it in. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Sons. He stayed in combat over here. He has to stay in combat over here. He has to stay in combat over here. His Rubric Marine moved up over this way. His Sniper Specialist readied himself. His leader moved back over here, feeling that cowardice is the better form of valor. And his Twist Spray now is going to show him what's for, and he is going to charge into my Reaver over here. So his charge distance is enough to get in. All right, that's it for the movement phase. So into the psychic phase, we'll start with him and the warp, the icon of flame. So on a D6, on a 6, he does a mortal wound. No mortal wound. All right, so now his leader is going to try to Psy-Bolt into my guy over here. Goes off on a 10, so that is going to do 1 mortal wound. All right, into the shooting phase. At the beginning, my opponent's going to spend the 2 command points for lay low or stay low to make sure I can't shoot his leader there. So now my sniper is going to start us off in the shooting phase by shooting into his sniper. Within half range, I'm going to get the comm specialist and the auspex from the comm specialist to shoot into him. I'm going to be hitting on 2s, 2 shots hitting on 2s. That is 2 hits with fill faces, wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. Those are 2 AP -1, so 2 4-up saves. Makes them both. And now his sniper specialist, his sniper specialist is going to fire both of his shots 2 and 2 into my comm specialist and my sniper specialist. So we'll do the comm specialist first. 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Nope. And then 2 shots hitting on 4s again. Or yeah. So that is going to be 1 second.
And no 1.
It's actually hitting on 5s. I'm sorry. He's more than, because it's only 24-inch range, so he's going to be hitting on, so it's 1 hit there. This is now going to be strength 4. Oh, strength 5, so wounding on 3s. That is a wound. AP -2. Oh, AP -3, that's right. So looking for a 6-up. Show me that fill first. No fill face, so I take a wound. All right, so now my comm specialist is going to fire into his Rubric Marine over here. No, you know what? He's going to shoot into the sniper specialist. I need to try to get that guy. So it's going to be 2 shots, -1 because he's obscured, but within half range. So looking for 4s to hit. Getting 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, AP -1, so 4-up save. He's good. And then my leader is going to fire into his Rubric Marine over here. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Getting nothing. And then my combat specialist is going to shoot his heavy bolt pistol into the Zangor here. So it's going to be 1 shot hitting on a 3. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. AP -1. He's good. And now his Zangor is going to shoot back. Hitting on a 4.
Actually, no.
Oh, hitting on a 5 because of the -1 from the flesh wound. No hit. All right, so now his Rubric Marine here is going to fire into my leader over here. So he's within half range, but he's obscured, so he's going to be hitting on 4s. That is 1 hit, looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP -2, so looking for a 5-up save. No, goes through, takes a wound. All right, that's it for shooting into the fight phase. We both have chargers, but I have the initiative, so my guy who charged over here is actually going to fight into the Twist Spray because he got charged by the Twist Spray, so he's a valid target. So I'm going to have him attack in. 2 base attacks plus 1 because of combat knife. So this is going to be hitting on 3s into the Twist Spray. Getting 1 hit. This is going to be wounding on a 4. That's not a wound. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. That is a wound. AP nothing, so he's got his 5-up invul save. He's good. And now his Twist Spray, who is his combat specialist, is going to attack into my my Reaver over there. So he's got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. This is going to be wounding on strength 4, so wounded on a 4. What is that? That is a wound, so it's going to be a 3-up armor save. He's good. All right, so now my other guy who charges is going to attack into the Brayhorn over here. He's got 3 attacks as well because of the close combat knife. This is going to be hitting on 3s.
I'm wounded.
That is 3 hits, wounding on 4s. That is 1 wound. This is going to be a 5-up invul save. No, it goes through. So he is going to be taking this. This is now going to be looking for a 3-up because of his 4-up because of the injury roll. With a 4, he is out of combat. All right, so now into the regular form of combat here. I'm going to have my combat specialist go first since I have the initiative. He's got 3 base attacks because he's a Reaver Sergeant, +1 because of combat knife, +1 because he's the combat specialist. Hitting on 3s. Okay, 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. Come on, buddy. All right, so now his Zangor here is going to be attacking in. He's got a flesh wound, so he's going to be hitting on 4s. That's 1 hit. That is not a wound. All right, so now this veteran sergeant is going to attack into my Reaver over here. He's got 1 attack hitting on a 3. That is not a hit.
Want my roll.
And that is the end of turn 2. No one has to take any morale tests because he's lost 1 guy, but that's not going to give him low enough to have to take it on the 1 guy with the flesh wound over here. So we are moving on now to see who will have initiative come into turn 3. I rolled a 10. My opponent rolled a 9, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 3. All right, so that is the movement phase for the Dark Angels here. These 2 guys readied themselves. My leader readied himself. He stayed in combat, so did my combat specialist, and now my Reaver over here is going to charge into these 2 guys over here. I need a 4-inch charge to get in. You can't overwatch because they're engaged. And he's in. All right, movement phase. He stood still. He readied himself. He readied himself. And they had to stay in combat, and he decided to stay in combat. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, the guy with the warp, the flame, the icon of flame is going to attack into my Reaver who charged him over here. Looking for a 6. No. And then his Aspiring Sorcerer is going to attack into this Reaver over here because it's the closest that he can see. Looking for a 5. Getting it with an 8, so 1 mortal wound, so that goes down. So roll an injury roll now. No, takes a flesh wound. All right, so that's it for the psychic phase. Into the shooting phase. My opponent's going to spend the 2 command points again for laying low, and I am going to start us off here with my sniper specialist into his sniper specialist. So he's got 2 shots. Again, taking all the goodies from the comm specialist, so it's going to be 2 shots, looking for 2s to hit. So that is going to be 2 hits, looking for 4s to wound. Getting no wounds. I'm freaking gonna spend a command point to reroll one of those. Come on, why?
Double trouble.
All right, so now his sniper specialist is gonna fire 2 shots into each of these guys over here. So we're gonna go into the comm specialist first, hitting on 5s, getting 2 hits, wounding on 4s, getting 1 wound, AP -3, so looking for a 6-up. Show me that fell face. Yeah, with the fill phase! Woo! And now into my sniper specialist, hitting on 5s, getting 1 hit, wounding on a 3. It's kind of 4, so that is a wound. Looking for a fill face again. Can I get 2 in a row? Yeah, with the fill face again! Woo! And now my leader is going to shoot into his Rubric Marine over here. 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's obscured. That is going to be 2 hits. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP -1, so 4-up save. He's good. And now his Rubric Marine is going to fire into my leader with 2 dice, hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Getting 1 hit. This is going to be wounding on a 4. No wound. And my comm specialist is going to fire into his sniper. Obscured, looking for 4s to hit. Getting nothing. All right, so now my combat specialist is going to fire his heavy bolt pistol into his Zangor. That is not a hit. And his Zangor is going to shoot into mine. That is a hit.
3 versus.
Looking for a... is it a bolt pistol? Or is, oh, it's a las pistol.
No, it's not a pistol.
Auto pistol, so strength 3, looking for a 5 to wound. No wound. And now my Reaver over here is going to shoot his heavy bolt pistol into the Twist Bray. That is not a hit. All right, so now that's it for the shooting phase. So into the fight, because he can't shoot because he got charged, so they couldn't shoot. So now my Reaver who did charge is going to attack into the Twist Bray over here. So he's going to have 3 attacks because of the combat knife, hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. And now my combat specialist is going to attack into the Zangor over here, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 4 hits. Wounding on 4s. There we go. 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves. No, fails them. So his injury roll, he's got 1 already, so it's going to be +1. 2 because of 3, another flesh wound.
I know that guy.
All right, so now the Twist Bray is going to attack into my Reaver who hasn't attacked yet. These are going to be 3 attacks hitting on 3s. Getting 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting no wounds.
Wow.
And now my other Reaver is going to attack into the Rubric Marine over here. He's going to have 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. 3-up save. He's good. And now his Rubric Marine gets to attack. He's going to attack with his 1 attack. That's a hit. That is a wound. That is not a save. Ooh. Oh, man. So it's not a save. So injury roll, because you did it onto the other guy who had the flesh wound, right? He is out of action. And now he can attack into here. He's going to be hitting on 5s because of the 2 flesh wounds. Getting 1 hit. No wound. All right, so I'm going to spend 2 command points for my combat specialist to attack into his Zangor again. I need to get that guy off. So it's going to be 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right, all hits. This is starting off well. 4s to wound. Not as well there, so that's 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves. Making 1, failing 1. +2 to the roll. Finally, he is out. All right, so that's the end of turn 3. We have no morale test to take. So now we're going to roll again to see who will have the initiative going into the next turn, turn 4. I rolled a 3. My opponent rolled a 5, so he will go first. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Sons. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Sons here. These two stayed in combat. He readied himself, his sniper specialist readied himself, and his leader moved over here so we can get some line of sight over here. And that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, Dark Angels movement phase. My sniper specialist and comm specialist both readied themselves. So did my leader. He stayed in combat, and my combat specialist is going to charge into these 2 guys over here. So his charge distance, I need a 6-inch charge to get into combat with just the Twist Bray over there. 5 inches, I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that. Back into 5 inches. All right, so into the psychic phase. His guy with the icon of flame is going to try to flame me over here. No, does not go off. And Psybolt from his aspiring sorcerer goes off, so 1 wound. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, his sniper specialist is going to fire into my guys over here. So we're going to start into the comm specialist, 2 shots. Those are not hits. And then 2 shots into the sniper specialist. The 1 hit there, so that's going to be wounding on a 3. That is a wound. Looking for a fill face. Can I get it? No. So he takes a wound. That's going to be his last wound there. So injury roll. That's a flesh wound. So now my leader is going to fire into his Rubric Marine over here. 2 shots, hitting on 4s because he's obscured. That is 1 hit. Whoa, 1 wound with a fill face. 1 3-up save, he's good. And then his Rubric Marine is gonna give it right back there. Getting no hits. And now my sniper specialist is gonna shoot into his sniper specialist. 2 shots, hitting on 2s because of the Auspex and the comm specialist there. So hitting on 2s. That is 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, AP -1, so 4-up save. Good. And now my comm specialist is going to shoot into his sniper specialist. 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Oh. That is going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound. And now his leader is going to shoot into my guy over here. He's obscured and -1 because of distance, so looking for a 5. Whoop. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And now my Reaver in combat is going to shoot into his Twist Bray over here. 1 shot hitting on a 3. That is a hit. That is a wound. 5-up invul. No, goes through. So his injury roll. 6, he is out of action. All right, so into the fight phase. He is going to go first, so he has one attack. That's a hit. Looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. 3-up save. No, I'm going to spend my last command point to reroll that. Yeah, with the fill phase. Woo! And now he's going to attack back. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. All right, so that's the end of turn 4. No leadership tests have to be taken here, but we do now have to figure out if the game goes on. So my opponent's going to roll, looking for a 3+. No, that is the end of the game, and because he's still alive, this is a Thousand Sons victory. Oh man, that was killer. Oh man, there were so many times he made some clutch saves. I made some clutch saves. And it was coming down. The fact that his regular Zangor, not even his Twist Bray, not even his Brayhorn with like the power sword thingy that he had, neither of those. It was just the regular Zangor keeping my freaking combat specialist in combat for all those turns was killer. And then our stupid sniper duel back and forth, not really doing anything. It was nuts. So yeah, this was a ridiculous game, but a ton of fun. And it was fun to see a psychic phase in Kill Team. That's the first time I've seen it, which was awesome to see how that goes on. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can imagine that it could get pretty awesome. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always. My opponent's been Neil, and until next time, have fun.